Ahead on Early Birds, the Falcons hope a trip to the desert will help them snap their recent cold spell. We'll go one-on-one with Arizona's own Bijan Robinson and ask the rookie what fans keep asking us, why doesn't he get the ball more? Plus, the Dogs try and clinch their spot in the SEC Championship, and we get an early start on holiday shopping with the help from a few friends. That and more on Early Birds.
Grab a cup of your favorite Joe and let's talk Falcons football on Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
Good morning and welcome into Early Birds. He's DJ, I'm Justin, and Shock, if the old social media is any indicator, I think Falcons fans are about ready for the team to get back on track.
Oh, they are so anxious and ready. These last 2 weeks have not been fun to look at on social media, but we got a chance to get back into the win track.
Win going into the bye week would be something nice for Falcons fans and the team, certainly. Let's talk about how they do it. We'll start things off with the opening drive. The Falcons visiting the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow and starting at quarterback, Taylor Heinicke. So DJ, two questions. One, why go back to Heinicke? And two, can he earn the job from here on out?
Well, first off, I think he earned the opportunity to have another shot at it. Yeah, he had a couple throws in the game that you say, all right, that could have been an interception, but he also scored 28 points. He scored 48 in his time in there with the half of the game he had in Tennessee. So he's done some good things. He scored a lot of points, and I think right now he gives you the best opportunity to win. I think if he plays well tomorrow, he has a good chance of solidifying that spot for the rest of the year.
Yeah, so it'll be Taylor Heinicke under center when the Falcons head out west.
I understand that. Fans and you guys have to ask the questions. Deserve the right to know, but there's some things that I will keep private, for better or worse. Yeah, there's so many things that go into it. It's not all on the quarterback, and sometimes it's the matchups, it's the way things are trending. But I think at the end it'll all work itself out the way it should.
As we continue on the opening drive, the Cardinals get their quarterback back. Kyler Murray is set to make his first start of the year. He's coming off an injury. Now, the Falcons, DJ, have not had a great track record against quarterbacks making their debuts so far this year.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. Every week we say, all right, we should be able to get a win. They got a first-year quarterback. They got a guy who hasn't played in a while, but it has not worked out in our favor. And Kyler Murray hasn't played since week 14 of 2022. He's playing well then, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but it has been a long road back, and the feeling of trying to get back into it definitely will be different for him, but hopefully he doesn't have the same success the guys had in the past. And Richard Grant says the defense knows what's it like preparing for a quarterback without much game tape.
It really is going to be about us, man, because, like you said, last couple of weeks we ain't had a lot of film, and, stuff that happened in the game, breakdowns, things like that, it's going to be about us. Obviously, he's a great player. We're going to watch some film from last year, and we don't know what type of play he's going to get coming off of that injury, but it's going to be about us, man. We got to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do.
And as we wrap up the opening drive, so the question that we have heard a lot about this team getting louder and louder this week, why aren't guys like Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts getting the ball more, especially in the red zone? Arthur Smith's had to answer those questions, but Shock, for folks wondering about that at home, what's the answer?
You know what? It's a valid question, and I think we still are wondering why. But there are a lot of instances in a ball game or in a situational part of it in the red zone that determines if a guy gets the football. You're talking about coverages. You're talking about things that happen in a game where a team try to take away a certain player, and then a quarterback has to go through his progression. So there are a lot of things that go into getting a particular guy, but there are instances where you can say, all right, we're getting this guy the football, and I think that has to happen often.
They'll get the chance to do that tomorrow when the Falcons head out to Phoenix. Welcome into Early Birds alongside DJ Shockley. I'm Justin Felder. We mentioned that Kyler Murray is back for Arizona, but this is a one-win Cardinals team. I don't want to say must win, right? There's a lot of season left. But there will be a whole lot of very loud questions were the Falcons to lose their third straight.
I will say it. I think this is a must-win game. You have to have it. It's an NFC opponent. You've lost already 2 straight. Like you said, you don't want to lose 3 straight, and this is a 1-8 team that is struggling all across the board. You need a good win going into the bye week.
It would be nice to have that week off, certainly for the team and their fans. Well, Shock, tell me if you think it would be all right if I just crash in the film room tonight.
Yeah, come on, crash. Come on through.
Hey, Jealousy, the Gin Blossoms, they're from Arizona.
Who?
I had Gin Blossoms. I had a really hard time with the music one this week.
Oh, okay.
I need a bye week to rest and recharge. Go warm up the telestrator. We'll see you in a few. But first, one of the Grand Canyon State's greats now calls Atlanta home. Bijan Robinson is the highest drafted player ever from his hometown of Tucson, Arizona. Falcons fans hoping for a breakout in the desert, and like DJ was just talking about, they're also hoping to see Bijan get some more chances, especially around the goal line. The rookie and I talked about that when we talked one-on-one this week, and I also asked him about his first chance playing back home since high school. ballpark on how many people we're expecting on Sunday?
Ballpark?
Yeah.
I would say probably like 5,000, 10,000. It's probably gonna be like the whole city of Tucson.
Wait, you said 5,000 or 10,000 people?
Yeah, I've heard like there's gonna be buses. It's cool that they get to see like the kid that was there play at the stadium. It's such a blessing just to like see like where God brought me from there to now here.
Robinson caught it off his hip and he scores! Are you kidding me?
How do you describe your season so far?
It's been definitely a fun learning process for me. I feel the game is starting to slow down for me. Get used to the NFL in terms of like on field and off the field.
You may or may not be aware of this, but a big topic, argument, debate among Falcons fans is why isn't Bijan getting the ball more? Why isn't he getting red zone carries, things like that? That is not your job. You are not the coach. I understand that. But I imagine it's been a decade since you haven't been on the field all the time, at the goal line, in the red zone. Is that ever hard for you?
I mean, for me, like, obviously it's all coach's decisions for everything, and that's what we go by. Whatever situation he has me in, I'm gonna give him my all in that. You know, we got great guys like in the room too, in terms of like Tyler, CP. I can't really like get into it. This is my first year, so I'm trying to like get used to things, and I know coach is careful in how he like uses me. You know, he wants to protect me and make sure I'm in the best position possible. But I mean, I know this is the middle of the season, so you know, as the season keeps going, you know, we'll just keep on finding out.
Coach has said, you know, they are careful in how they use you, and it is the first year and a lot of learning. Are you ready for more on your plate if that's what they decide to do?
We prepare for everything. So in the running back room, like either us got to get over 15 some carry or whatever it is. Like I'm ready for it. We're over preparing. You know, whenever those times come for us, then I know we'll be ready for it.
Hey, game, yes, sir. You too. You have a player.
I read a little bit about how at Texas, Matthew McConaughey was kind of a big brother mentor role. Has he continued that in the NFL? Has he given you any advice even, you know, to this day?
Yeah, I mean, he always like asks me how I'm doing, how I'm feeling, things that like I can get better at, that he sees. If I need anything or just need to talk, he's right there for me. You know, we developed that relationship, and it's become bigger than football. Like, it's become a life thing for us. It's a cool dude to have on my side.
It's time to get some game intel from Shock. You're invited into the film room, so cut the lights and let's get started.
We always talk about, or you hear me talk about, pre-snap reads and also indications of what you're going to get on a particular play. Now, I'm going to show this Jonnu Smith touchdown, and there are a lot of things that happen before the play even starts that gives this offense a chance to be successful, and it's really for about the offensive line. So what's going to happen to start is Bijan Robinson here is in the backfield. He's going to go in motion this way. When he goes in motion here across the path here, this guy's going to go in motion with him. Now, once he goes in motion with him, that tells the offensive line you have man coverage. Why do you need to know that? Because when you come out here on this screen out here, you got to know who's going to block who, and it depends on man coverage because this guy has him in man, which is Jonnu. This tells this receiver, this is the guy I have to block. So as the play gets started, let's watch Bijan go in motion. Now you see he's out of the box. He comes with him. So now you know, okay, we have man coverage. I know exactly who I block now, and you're going to see the Falcons offensive line get out, and you're going to see them do a good job of getting on a particular guy. Tight end, he blocks this guy. Then you're going to have your offensive linemen. Both these guys are going to get out, and you're going to block this guy. You're going to have two guys on him, and watch what happens at the end of this play here. Look at all the hats on the hat. You actually got three offensive linemen on one player, and you got on the outside. They do a good job of getting each guy on a man. This is precision at its finest, and this is execution at its finest, Justin. We need more plays like this to come on Sunday.
Yeah, three offensive linemen on one defensive back. Usually an equation that benefits the offense. Thanks, Shock. We have more to come on Early Birds. Georgia Tech trying to get bowl eligible, while the Dogs will try and lock up a spot in the SEC title game. Plus,
if we working 9-10 hours a day, we only on the practice field maybe 2 hours. You know what I mean?
no Netflix and chill for Jonnu Smith. It is full effort film sessions. He'll explain when we go deep.
Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you. You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best, nothing. And sponsored by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Truest, when you start with care, you get a different kind of bank. And the Home Depot, how doers get more done. More Early Birds coming back at you. Early Birds, listen up. It's not Saturday without some college football talk. Brought to you by Zaxby's. Indescribably good chicken fingers and wings. Here's Justin Felder.
Welcome back into Early Birds. Thrilled as always to hang out with former Falcons and Ohio State wide receiver Michael Jenkins. Jenk, doing good?
Doing well.
Good to see you every Saturday morning. And the college football playoff rankings came out. Your Buckeyes remain number one.
Still number one. How about that?
Here's my question. If it goes chalk this week, if all the favorites win, does it flip-flop next week?
I mean, it would be hard because Georgia is playing a top 10 opponent today.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be mad if we flip-flop.
Fair enough. That's very big of you. We'll see if it happens. And that team right behind Ohio State right now, the Georgia Bulldogs. And they welcome in Ole Miss tonight. Ole Miss 9th in the playoff rankings. Lane Kiffin always has a plan. So, Jenk, what do you make of this matchup tonight?
Obviously a big matchup in the SEC with a lot on the line. So, Lane's he's gonna bring out all the stops. He's gonna have the trick plays. He's gonna have Jackson Dart trying to find those receivers downfield. So, tough test for the Bulldogs and Kirby Smart.
Yeah, why is Lane Kiffin is he just that brilliant an offensive mind?
He's been one of the best offensive guys in college football for a long time.
Yeah.
And he knows how to work with quarterbacks. He knows how to get his playmakers the ball. And I think the big thing for this game, they struggle on third downs, where Georgia is the best in college football in stopping teams on third down.
Kirby Smart knows Lane well. He also knows this will be an emotional game because it's senior day for the Dogs.
They've all been here for the ride. The seniors and the guys, some of our fourth, some of our fifth year guys that have been part of a special time in this program, and they're still in that time. So it's one of those things that they're living in a time that they have to appreciate, and they got to be able to look at it from 10,000 feet and then get back in it and get back to work.
A lot of Dogs fans are looking at the calendar from when Brock Bowers had that surgery and wondering, maybe he could come back. But it also might be his last chance to suit up in Athens. So even if he throws on the jersey and gets the flower, it would be a huge lift, right, to just see him suit up even if he's not ready to play yet.
Yeah, I mean, Brock. Brock, please. You don't need to play. Wait till the SEC championship game. But, of course, if you want to just put the jersey on and hang out, that's fine. But they don't need to see Brock Bowers until SEC championship game.
Yeah, he would go high in the NFL draft if it was to be his final game in Athens. That's a 7 o'clock kick. In just a few hours, Georgia Tech will play at Clemson. And, Jake, interesting game as both teams trying to become bowl eligible, which is not something we would have expected to say about Clemson right now.
No, not. But somebody, a reporter, I can't remember who it was, but they lit a spark under Dabo.
Right.
And he got his team ready to play last week against Notre Dame. And so hopefully they don't have the letdown on their side. But Georgia Tech's like, hey, we got an opportunity to make a bowl game as well here. So, and they always do well being ranked, or being the underdogs by more than double digits.
Yeah, and it would be their third straight win coming off some impressive ones for Georgia Tech, and they're playing a fun brand of football right now.
They really are. And these guys, they run the ball extremely well, 200 yards a game on the ground. And so Coach Key in his second year is really doing a great job with this team.
Here is Coach Key talking about building that program on the flats.
Talking about the obsessive nature that you have to have to win games and to be the best you can be. And that's the next step we have to take. We have to have the obsessive mentality to prepare to win, the obsessive desire that when Saturdays come to play to win. And that's taking it to the next step.
Be obsessive. It's just that simple. Jackets and Clemson at noon. Final one to talk about will be at noon here on Fox 5. Michigan at Penn State. Now your Buckeyes already knocked off Penn State, so they got a real slim chance of the playoffs or anything. But Nittany Lions win, that would really complicate the playoff picture.
It really would, especially everybody thinking, it's just going to be Ohio State, Michigan at the end, whoever wins that game. But Penn State's like, hey, we've only got one loss, and they want to finally beat Michigan, finally, beat Ohio State at some point where James Franklin and his teams haven't done very well against ranked opponents that high.
That would be an interesting one. We'll be right here at noon on Fox 5. Jank, we appreciate your time. And Shock, you got a little while before you need to head to Athens. What do you say? We all go watch big noon kickoff after this, watch some Big Ten football?
I'm all down for that. I know Jink's going to be steady watching, trying to get some signals or something. No. I'm just joking. They never do that at Ohio State. All right, each week I'll go in deep. We ask a Falcons player to explain something that goes into their job that you might not know just by watching TV. Speaking of watching football, that's what many of us do for fun, but it's serious business for NFL players. Tight end Jonnu Smith explains in this week's Going Deep.
I think the world doesn't understand how much film study we in a classroom. You know what I mean? It's a classroom all day. We only practice 2 hours a day. If we working 9-10 hours a day, we only on the practice field maybe 2 hours. You know what I mean? So you got to ask yourself, what are you doing for the other 6, 7, 8 hours? You know what I mean? And that's film study. You know what I mean? We watching film. We basically in school, man, all over again. So that's kind of a big misconception. I think a lot of people, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I would say a huge majority of people think that we kind of roll out of bed, lift some weights, and go practice. And I think that's it. But it's a lot more that goes into it, a lot more from the mental side of it, man, that people don't understand. So I definitely got to say that part of it.
Well, it was an emotional scene last week in the NFL. Damar Hamlin returning to Cincinnati. The Falcons team doc gives his insight on that situation. It's after the break.
You're watching Early Birds, presented by Mercedes-Benz, on your official home for Falcons football, Fox 5 Atlanta.
Last week in the NFL, the Bills played at the Bengals. That meant Buffalo safety Damar Hamlin returned to the place where his life was saved on the football field after going into cardiac arrest during a game. 1 year later, NFL teams are still learning from that situation, and that's the focus of this week's Emory Road to Recovery.
Damar's situation, so thankful that it turned out the way it did and that he's doing so well now. We every year have emergency action plan practices and protocols, and we review those every single year, and we practice those in a very formal setting at the field, at the stadium, as well as a practice facility. So year by year we do this, and we always are constantly practicing, and the protocols are being updated, but everybody is required to be there, everybody is required to attend, and so there's a lot of practice that goes into place, and that's why Damar and the staff that was there for both those teams were able to react the way they did and were able to respond the way they did and help save his life. So this year, again, those are all, things that we have practiced this year. Obviously, everybody's on high alert because of last year, and we're practicing more and more, but really the protocols and the standards have been in place for years, and that's partly why things went so well.
Thanks, Doc. Coming up, many deserving youngsters had the opportunity and experience of a lifetime on Tuesday thanks to Athletes First and Falcons players who put on a day of giving.
It's almost game time, Falcons fans. When the Falcons sack the opposing QB at home, you'll score a BOGO free Big Zack snack meal the day after the game. Valid online only at Atlanta area stores. Early Birds has been presented to you by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. Hey Falcons fans, score a touchdown with low tire prices at Mavis Tires and Brakes, the official tire retailer of the Atlanta Falcons. Visit MavisTire.com to find a store near you.
Coming down.
Well, the Atlanta Falcons, they're looking to bounce back from a disappointing loss, but several players were in the giving spirit this week on Tuesday, spent their day off giving back. The team partnered with Academy Sports and the Douglas Brothers Foundation, $3,000 shopping spree shock to 6 local families. That's great to see.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You can see kids getting bikes, kids getting a lot of stuff, and it's around a great time. Christmas is around the corner, so this is really cool the Falcons are doing. You see a lot of kids who with smiling faces.
Yeah, $500 gift card. You got Tyler Algier out there, AJ Terrell, Cordero Patterson. This is through Athletes First, an agency, a lot of these guys. Some of them are working with, helping to give back. Very cool stuff, and be sure to check out the Dirty Bird Report tomorrow night. We'll have highlights, interviews, and so much more wrapping up the Falcons and Cardinals tomorrow night, 11:30. Make sure to tune in. Shock, before we go, one final matchup to watch as the Falcons. You called it a must-win. What's the matchup they need to get right to get that win?
Last week was the first time we saw our defense give up a bunch of explosive plays. They got a guy in Hollywood Brown who can take the top off of defense. Make sure you know where he is, and don't allow him to have those big explosive plays in his ball game. And plus, you have Kyler Murray back. That'll give him some confidence. Lock him down, and don't let Murray get outside the pocket. I think we'll be good.
Yeah, don't let Kyler Murray's debut be like Josh Dobbs' was, Will Levis, guys like that. Got to stop that tide. All right, that's it for us on Early Birds. For DJ Shockley, I'm Justin Felder. We appreciate you for joining us. Have a good morning and a great rest of your weekend.